I'm so happy for you guys to finally be here. You guys had been talking about this trip for a little while now. I'm so happy that you guys are actually racing too with us next week or this weekend. And so we have a big weekend ahead of us, something we've been training for a little bit when we get ready for the season, our home meet. So exciting. You guys had the travel of 11 hours, so it took you guys some time to be here back in Colorado where it all kind of started for us. So please just welcome in Flagstaff's finest. We have Noel, Lopez, and Brenden Sims.
Thanks for having us here, Tannis. This is so cool.
Yes, I'm so happy. Noel, this is your first podcast that we're doing together. And then Brenden, this is our second together, so I'm so happy that you said yes to another one.
Yeah, exactly a year later.
Yeah, a whole year later.
Yeah.
So cool. I feel like we are in different parts of our lives compared to where we were just like a short year ago. And so it's nice to have you guys back here. Tell me what it's like to just, now you graduated and you've been graduated for a little while now, but just tell me what that experience has been like for you getting out of college.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Yeah.
Like, I was in Flagstaff for a while, but yeah, it kind of does feel like yesterday. I just finished, walking on the stage and whatnot, and then the conference championships.
Yeah.
But yeah, after ending there, I was in Denver for a little bit, just kind of chilling, and then I went back home to Rocky Ford for some time, and then just quickly, got things together for Flagstaff, and then drove out there.
Yeah.
And I've been there for the past about 2 months, I think.
That's sweet. That's sweet. I love just the courage to just go out there and say yes to all these new things. It's so exciting. What about you, Brenden? What's going on with you right now?
Yeah, well, when I was here a year ago, I had taken a semester off of school. Yeah. I am still working on the MBA. I, decided to go part-time for a little while, and then, now I'm back to being a full-time student and have recently, at the time I was working for Starbucks as a barista and trying to get my feet off the ground with real estate, but now I have decided to leave Starbucks. I'm full-time in real estate now and have continued training and still doing school on the side. So that's good. And things are really good right now. I've seen a little bit of success in real estate, and I am very excited for where everything's progressing. So
that's awesome. I love to just see you guys go out there and succeed. And so now that you guys are back, is there some things on the bucket list that you definitely want to do before you leave back home here in Denver? For example, we have our home meet tomorrow, and that's always an exciting event. We race the 6K, men run the 8K, and you guys run first and we run second. So exciting for you guys to just be in that race with a bunch of people that are in the RMAC and get your feet out there in some grass.
Yeah. It's weird. I haven't really, it's funny, I'm going to use the phrase touch grass. I haven't really touched grass since I was here a year ago and raced the home meet just for fun as I was just getting a feel for racing again as I was heading into my first ever marathon block. Yeah. And now it's kind of the same situation. I haven't really touched the grass at all until Noel and I just did a workout last week, and we decided to get on a field in Flagstaff and see if we could do some Ks just to get a feel for the grass again. But it'll be fun to, rip on a cross course.
Yeah, definitely. Noel, I know you have some good memories on our home course. Tell me just what it's like now being not in the red and blue uniform.
Yeah, I raced at Wash Park many times. Some good races and some really bad races. I think some of my worst races were at Wash Park. But also I've had some good ones. Last year's home meet went well for me. I'm excited to race those guys again. I mean, it's a lot of the same guys I've raced in the past. Yeah. So I'm excited just because I've been getting fit again. I'm not sure where that fitness lies right now, but I'm excited to see how, it matches up with those guys out there.
Yeah, what was maybe the last race you guys did, and do you have a time goal or a placement goal when you go out there tomorrow?
It's interesting. Like Noel said, I really don't know what the fitness is going to look like on the day. I know the training that we've been doing, it's very much been my marathon style training. We did a little bit of 1500 stuff just to help out some elite athletes in Flagstaff. But I know for at least Noel, this has kind of been different training for you, hasn't it? Very much, more voluminous than what you've been used to?
Yeah, very different than what I did in college. I felt a lot more strength-based. So as far as strength, I feel really good there. I just don't know how that VO2 looks, the speed-wise. Yeah. But if that's there, then I think I'm pretty good for tomorrow.
Yeah. That's great. I remember just you guys putting in a lot of miles here in college, collegiately running, and now, like, I bet you just kind of taking that training into your own hands, it might look a little bit different, but I know you guys are still getting out there and getting into it. What shoes are you guys wearing tomorrow? Do you know yet? Are you wearing spikes for sure?
Yeah, I'm going to wear spikes. They're kind of special spikes because I was doing a lot of pacing for Nikki Hiltz as they were getting ready for the Worlds in Tokyo, the 1500. So since then, I've been pivoting a little bit more to marathon training with Julia Paternain and Jess McClain. But the spikes that I'm wearing were actually gifted to me by Nikki. So it'll be my first time wearing them in a race. So I'm really excited about that. And they're the Dragonfly 2s.
Oh, I love that. What about you, Noel?
Also, the Dragonfly 2s are the ones I used in track season for a couple of races. Other than that, I've only used them for a couple workouts. One of them was pacing Nikki, but great spikes, so they should hold up well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So kind of touching on, you mentioned some pretty well-established athletes, some runners that you guys have been training with. Just first off, how exciting is that you guys get get to be able to train with a different caliber of athletes, but also people that take it very seriously, and you get to learn their ways. But they also, like, I feel like when they go out there and do those big things, like Nikki Hiltz getting 5th in the 1500 just a couple days ago, like, do you guys also feel like, hey, like, that win is partially like ours too, like we're sharing these moments together? Does that feel like that for you?
It kind of does. It was interesting because after seeing all of these elite performances at Worlds, knowing that we have paced like 3 elite athletes that have gotten top 10 on the world stage, I think is really something to be proud of. I just feel very honored to be able to work with them, and a lot of times they make me better as well. But it was interesting because after specifically Julia and Jess's marathon, I was receiving texts like, yeah, you were a part of that. Like, you and Noel are the best because we were working with them a lot. But at the time, I was just so proud of them and like very happy for them. And I wasn't really thinking about like, the hand that they might be thinking that we've had in it. Mm-hmm. And just, to be able to speak on that is really, really cool to me. So at first I wasn't really thinking about it, but then after all of that, I'm like, wow, I can really reflect on all of the training that we've all done, like, hands on knees, like being really like flopped over after reps, or like, a really long steady state workout on Lake Mary Road. Like, we've really been through a lot of hard training together, just even in the last few weeks or last few months. And I think that that's something to be proud of too.
Yeah, it definitely speaks on just like the unselfishness that you guys have too. Like, you guys are always someone willing to give another person a hand and things like that. Noel, has there been a workout that has really pushed your limits?
Yeah, definitely Julia's stuff, helping her out with the marathon stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never done like anything longer than 8-mile tempo.
Okay. Wow.
And then pretty quickly when I got into flag, I was already doing a 12-mile tempo.
Wow, that's pretty big change.
Well, she was going longer, but I've always like tapped out a little sooner than she finished.
Those ones are hard. Yeah.
All of my longest workouts have been with Julia, and I've kind of like been in a zone where I haven't been before. Mm-hmm. But it's cool though, and it's really exciting to do.
Yeah. So being just new to those type of workouts like that, how do you kind of step up and be there like on pace for those athletes, but also like, because it's new to you for sure. Mm-hmm. So how do you maybe feel comfortable and like stay composed, but like are there for them still? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, for me, even the first one, I had no idea what the pace was until like very like almost last minute. And I mean, Brenden kind of just throws me in there, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm just gonna go as far as I can comfortably and like maintain a good pacing roll. And I ended up making it farther than I thought I would on the first one. So I was like, okay, I can do this. These long tempos, and feel comfortable with it to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun. It is true because like, we'll probably to get to this soon, but when Noel first came to Flagstaff, like I did sign him up for a lot of things. I was like, there are some really cool people I want you to meet. Like, you're a really cool media guy, but you're also going to be hopping into some of the training that I've been doing with some of these people. And it's, a lot of times it would be like, I don't even know what the session's going to be, but I'll have one of the elites just reach out to me and be like, hey, can you pace this workout? And I would be like, yeah, and I actually have another guy that would be, willing to do that as well. And Noel's like, hold up, like, I didn't agree to this. I'm just now getting into training again. And then we'd show up, and sure enough, Noel would, be on his Noel BS and just, he would just pop off on the track or
Yeah.
on these long steadies. Like I know he can handle it. Like I'm not gonna just sign him up to suffer unless I know that it's like suffering that he's ultimately going to be able to benefit from and be proud of.
Yeah.
So and sometimes he would even be able to like outlast me on some of these workouts, which I think is really really cool. But that's pretty much how it's been going.
Yeah, Noel, do you like that? Do you like Brenden kind of pushing you to new limits and getting out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, I was pretty open to it coming out to flag because I was like, okay, if I'm going to train, I want to see how fit I can get. I know I got to get fit pretty quickly here because I didn't have much time out from the home meet.
Yeah.
And Brenden throwing me in there was a little bit of a shock to the system, but I felt like it was pretty good, especially like the strength side. And
And so going from the Mile High City to that 7,000 altitude, do you feel the difference? Because I know like you grew up in Colorado, like altitude isn't something we like have to necessarily get used to, but in your case moving to Flagstaff, was that maybe something you guys had to get back used to?
They always say like the science behind it, as it's been explained to me, is it's always exponential. So if you are someone who trains at sea level and you go to 5280, which is a mile high, that's like an exponential type of, compound that you get. And that same exponential like effect that you get from sea level to 5280 is the same as going from 5280 to like 7,000 feet.
Really? Okay.
So that's always how it's been like, explained to me. And I personally would say that I like kind of feel it. But I guess like since it's more, I've been there for a while now. I guess Noel could probably speak to it a little bit more since he's kind of fresh up from a mile high, which is all he's ever known to, 7,000 feet.
I noticed it the first day. Yeah, I noticed it right away. I was like, yo, this is different. Wow. It feels a little harder. And especially because there's not much flatness out there, so everything's kind of like climbing, rolling a little bit. Okay. So it was a little tough, but I got used to it kind of slowly.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was kind of the training leading up coming here for this race? Have you guys kind of been like tapering a little bit for this race, or are you guys like what does the lead up look like?
Kind of, it's been a lot the same, but it's been also very different.
Yeah.
I haven't tapered because I have a marathon that I'm really like, I'm going to go back to CIM this year that I'm really looking forward to in the fall, and that's the main focus.
Yeah, goal race.
Yeah, that's the goal race, and I have a lot of time to be like building up mileage for that. So right now I'm still in like that strength building phase where I really want to be able to handle high volume.
Yeah.
So I haven't tapered in terms of like mileage or anything like that. I'm still kind of climbing up, or at least like trying to hold steady. I guess Noel's been tapering a little bit.
Yeah, my ambitions have been a little different than Brenden. So I would say like the last week or so I've been tapering a small tad, not like a super sharp taper, but just because the home meet is more of my focus of what I was training for. And then, I did get signed up for a half marathon in November at, was it Monterey Bay?
Yep, yeah. Monterey Bay.
So after the home meet, I'll take a little bit of a break and then get ready for that.
Could you see yourself maybe ever running anything more than marathon or a half?
I think I'm going to stick to marathon and under for now. I'm not going to step up into ultra territory or anything. Marathons are hard enough. Yeah. And I've only ever done one so far, and I just remember what walking away from that felt like, and I'm like, okay, there are so many more things that I can focus on and to get better at this event. But yeah, to answer your question, I think the training from this has been, it started off with like relatively lower volume, and we were doing a lot of pacing for Nikki, which, it's really aggressive work at shorter distances. And then for the last, like, I'd say probably 8 weeks or so, we've pivoted more so to like half marathon training, which is just really long workouts on Lake Mary Road or doing double threshold, which Noel actually did his first double threshold workout while he was up in Flagstaff with Julia and I, which is, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's been a pretty strong pivot.
I was asking Brenden this at the coffee shop earlier, but is there anything that you guys have kind of taken from these pros that you're working with and running with that maybe you wish you could have incorporated when you guys were still running collegiately? Like maybe anything that they're doing specifically with their recovery, eating, the way they're even running their shorter runs, recovery runs. Is there anything like that?
I think the biggest thing that's like new to me seeing is like fueling during runs. I've never fueled during a run or even much like pre-run either. But they're pretty big on that. I think that's really crucial for a lot of these longer runs and longer workouts.
Okay. What do they like to eat usually? Is it like gummies?
Like a lot of the gel and like
Okay.
bottle stuff. Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
A lot of easy to digest things.
Yeah.
I've been throwing Jill's Noel's away for the longest time. I've never once in my life seen someone like, put down a quarter of a gel and then be like, all right, that's enough for me. But
Very new concept.
that's Noel's thing, and I'll be like, dude, did you even like have any of this? And he was like, I was sipping on it, bro. And I'm just like, well, I mean, like as long as you're getting something down, and you're starting to hydrate really well during runs. Like I guess it's a good time to kind of like bring up a friend of mine. His name's Mike Arashida, and he owns this company. He's a founder of Blank Sports Nutrition up in Flagstaff.
Okay.
And he has, graciously given us a lot of product. And it's, so we use a lot of the tangerine mix or the high carb mix, and we like mix it with our fluids now. Okay. And Noel's been, pretty responsive to that. Like he seems to like it a lot. And I've seen him actually put down like quite a bit of liquid, which I was kind of impressed by, because like that's actually the part that I kind of struggle with. Like I can get down gels because they're quick and easy, but like when it comes to fluids and stuff, like Noel's actually, responding to that pretty well. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a new concept for me, but I did notice it. The longest run I've done was in Flagstaff, which was 22 miles. And in the past long runs, like I've just kind of like got used to like it feeling like dreadful in the second half.
Yeah.
But during that session, I've noticed like, wow, I kind of like still feel good, a 16-hour during the tempo portion, which is like a new thing for me.
Yeah, it's crazy how much that like actually like goes a long way when you're in those longer distances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't really had to experience anything quite that long yet, but I know like definitely have those days for sure. And I know it's not something that works for everyone, but just finding that little thing that works for you. Yeah, so going on to Worlds right now, we had kind of touched on it a little bit with Nikki earlier. Was there a favorite moment that you guys had watching? I know it's been going on this last week or so. Men's marathon was really fun to watch. Any specific moments that you guys really enjoyed?
I would say, like, I'm proud of all of the athletes that are there, and I feel very grateful to, be friends with a lot of them. But the moment that stuck out to me the most was definitely Julia medaling at the world level, because I've seen how hard she works and how much mental energy she puts into training, and being alongside her for a lot of not just the workouts, Noel and I go and help her out with workouts often, but we also have linked up with her for a few easy runs, and just being out there and learning a lot about her story and how much she really, really wanted it and where she was in her pro career. She was a part of an emerging elite program for Saucony, and now it's she's kind of really made a huge jump. And then she crossed the line, and you can watch it in the videos where she's she doesn't even know that she got third. And she really didn't even know that she was at the finish line, which is crazy. But you watch that, and I kind of got a little emotional about it, because I know how much she wanted it. And she was like, wow, I want top 20. And then just seeing a friend be able to come through, not just top 20, but shattering it and getting third. And then you can see on camera the moment she realizes she got third, and she's like, oh my gosh, that's insane. So I think that one really stuck out to me, and I think that's, the biggest takeaway from the World Championships this year is that's the one that I think meant a lot. So
I love that.
Yeah, I would say same here for me, definitely. Also just because I've worked with Julia the most out of any other pro athlete out there. And yeah, I mean, I know she's super fit, and seeing her in those long tempos, she's dropped me every time and looked really comfortable doing it. Yeah. And I wasn't expecting her to do that well at Worlds, and to hear that she was sitting in third, I was like, no way, if she holds this, that's going to be insane. And then yeah, she came through, and it was pretty cool to see, be a part of that in a way.
Yeah, that's awesome. What a just a great feeling to be around, for sure.
That was cool.
And you also mentioned their mindset. Is there anything that you might admire about the certain group of people you train with and their mindset and that approach?
Yeah, they're just not afraid to talk about their goals and how much they really want it. And I think a lot of times, they don't, I wouldn't say that it's unhealthy or that they overthink it or anything, but they just they have a goal and they have their mindset on it, and then you could see that reflected in all of the training that they do. Everything has a purpose, whether that's being able to take a load off in an easy run and just be able to get out there and yap for a little while, or going into workouts and being able to hit paces as they're prescribed, and really putting the trust in their coach and just really valuing the hard work. One thing I've noticed, none of them complain. And if they complain about anything, it's a lot of it'll just be jokingly or something like that. You just have normal banter on runs. But as far as the workload that they put in, they're really proud of it. And it's never been a question of like, oh, I don't really like this thing that I'm doing or anything. Like, they really buy in. And I think that to accomplish something exceptional, then you need to be bought into your goals. And I could see that in the way that they live. Like, Julia's really dialed in on recovery when she's not training. Jess is really dialed in on recovery, even though she's working like 30 hours a week at a nonprofit outside of training. And Nikki very much the same. So that their mindset is just being so glued to the objective and their goals that they want to achieve. And I think that that's very admirable.
Yeah, I definitely look up to those athletes like that too, for sure. What about you, Noel?
Yeah, kind of the same thing, really. I mean, also just seeing that, like, they're, normal people and, they're super relatable and, they have a lot of the same struggles as well. But seeing that they can still go out there and perform like that is also really inspiring to see.
Yeah. And they're very open to collaboration. Like, they all like love to, they don't view us as pacers. We're like friends and training partners. Yeah. And that really sticks out to me too, because like, at the time, you just show up and you have like a very collaborative mentality where they're like bought into our goals as well. And I think that collaboration is huge when you're trying to accomplish something big, and seeing that they all value that, and they've expressed appreciation for us too, for being able to like hop into some of their sessions and help them out whenever they would otherwise be out there by themselves, and like they would still get the work in, but it really does help to have people out there with you, and seeing that they're as open to collaboration, like they're not exclusive, they're very appreciative, and they're brought into us as friends too. So I think that that's huge.
Yeah, it definitely shows for sure. So I have a question for you guys. When you're not out there putting in that hard work and training, what are you doing besides running in Flagstaff?
Selling houses.
Yes.
A lot of that is, I've been trying to get into the marketing aspect of it a little bit more. Prospecting is something that I think is very, very important. And with that comes a lot of media stuff. And I think that I had to get away from the mentality that I can't be cringy or something like that online, because like really putting yourself out there is kind of, it's conducive to business. Like, you got to get your name out there. So a lot of it has actually been outside of training, outside of doing the actual real estate stuff like facilitating paperwork and, negotiating and actually showing homes, it's been a lot of marketing. And Noel's actually taught me a lot with that. Like, he's teaching me about social media algorithms and, how to get a good hook and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of the things that we're doing are actually collaborative. Before Noel got there, it was like really just like doing the thing and, finding my way myself and all of that. But like, Noel's been a great help. So we're spending a lot of time together outside of training too. And we're kind of just like bought into our careers. Like, I think it's really cool. He's like upping his media portfolio and, making connections and wanting to learn about real estate media. So a lot of it for both of us, I think, is real estate, right?
Yeah. Yeah, me and Brenden are pretty much together like all day. Run and then go to a coffee shop or somebody's place and then lock in. But yeah, I mean, for me, the original intent was only to go to Flagstaff for 2 months just to build a portfolio and, define the skill set a little bit. But I mean, once I realized that there's a really good opportunity for real estate media and like diving into connections there, I committed to a little longer stay, 6 months. He's trying to get me to go longer, but I don't know about that. But yeah, I mean, right now I'm still in the, building the roots for my own freelance business, and I really want that to be focused more on the real estate media. So it works well, that he's an agent.
Yeah. Tell me, just go a little bit deeper into how you guys just complement each other, because it obviously shows, and I know you guys are wearing the shirts today. We got Cosmo and Wanda right here. But just tell me, like, I feel like this relationship too, like your guys' friendship was kind of like out of the blue. I mean, Brenden, you came to Metro, transferred, and like just this camaraderie that you guys have together is really cool, and it's awesome to see you guys just like grow together. And it's awesome just to especially like with the media side of things and how you're being very helpful with Brenden and all of those things like that. So it's awesome to see from like just the outsider point of view for sure. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, we definitely have like a lot of, it's a brotherhood in a way, but we also have like really fun banter that I think is cool, and it helps break things up a lot. But it's crazy to think that like, I bring this up to Noel all the time. I was only at Metro for 10 months.
Yeah.
Like I was on the team for a year's worth of eligibility. And I think that like what helped Noel and I is like we were both like the high mileage guys. Like we clicked off, was it your first 100-mile week?
Yeah, the same one.
Yeah, we clicked off our first like official 100-mile weeks together, and then like we were doing a lot of workouts together. So I think naturally whenever you're spending that much time with someone in training that you develop a bond. But I knew immediately, like after all of that time and like learning about who Noel is and where his interests lie, I was like, okay, like I'm in Flagstaff now. I think Flagstaff is definitely the place for like he'll like it up here, and there's a lot of opportunity for him. And then Joshy actually came and visited me for a while, and he was like, yeah, we got to get Noel up here. Like he's gonna love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like that just kind of like strengthened it a little bit, just because like not only are we training together and kind of like suffering in all of these like hard workouts and getting all this work in and just getting fit, but we're also like doing a lot of professional work together, and it's good in that way. Like, so whenever you're just spending a lot of time with someone and you think that like you're elevating each other's goals a little bit, then it's kind of like, you're giving and taking at the same time, and then you can like, boost each other up in that way. So I think like a bond naturally develops in that.
Iron sharpens iron for sure, and I love just I feel like who you surround yourself with definitely helps you become the person that you want to be at the end of the day. Yeah. And so goals for you guys in those kind of fields that you have. So real estate for you, could you maybe touch on some goals that you have with that, and then also with like your content creating? I think that's starting to continue to grow. Do you guys have like goals with that coming up? What does that look like?
Yeah, my goals in real estate are pretty ambitious. At first, it was just getting my feet off the ground and kind of learning what real estate was and what it looked like to be like an agent with a unique value proposition that I could present to people. I'll spare the time now, but like I've been finding a lot of trying to discover my why a lot more. Like I have a lot of really great reasons and that I think contribute to how great I can be at representing people in what is often some of the biggest purchases of their lives, and being able to do that, help friends out is huge. So I won't do a deep dive into that, but ultimately the goal is to be able to like do that and be able to excel in real estate, but then eventually tie that into a lot of the places that I love. So like I eventually want to be able to do business not just in Flagstaff, Northern Arizona, or Phoenix and Scottsdale, which I love all of those places, but I was communicating to some people here that like eventually I want to expand into Colorado, and like because I love it here so much too, and I just want to like be able to learn these areas and be able to like maintain the connections that I have in both places, because I truly do love people, and just being able to like continue working in a way that doesn't feel like work to me, but I can continue helping people out and building like a healthy financial portfolio for myself while I'm doing it. So that's good. I just want to be where I love with people that I love and continue doing work that I love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say my goals really is for just to really establish, the media side for me. Establish the photography and real estate videos, and just get really good at that. Because once I get that really established, I also want to start getting more on the YouTube again. Just because YouTube videos is something I really enjoy making. Even just for fun.
What's your channel again? Shout it out.
It's just my name, Noel Lopez.
There we go.
Yeah.
Noel Lopez YouTube. He's got a couple fun videos on the way. We've been vlogging this whole trip.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, this trip is like, fourth in line for all the YouTube videos. So hopefully, like, he's been focusing on, building his portfolio and stuff, so I respect it. But, there are going to be a good few videos coming out, and I think he does really great work. So it's really fun and entertaining.
Yeah. So kind of like with all of like the content that's out there now, all the social media, how do you navigate like where you really want to like target your audience and things like that? How have you kind of maybe like gotten better at that, or just like?
Yeah, for me, I think it's also just really seeing what other people who are really good at it, how they're doing it. Seeing the formulas and how it's really dialed in has helped a lot. And you kind of just try to replicate it. If it works, it works. So kind of that kind of method. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think the key is to a hook? Because I've been trying to get that down
hard.
forever.
That is hard.
He's always telling me, he's like, okay, if you're wanting to focus on Reels on Instagram or get your name out there on like TikTok or anything like that, because like, I'm not opposed to any social media platform. I think all of them have their place, and like you should really be on all of them.
Yeah.
But Noel's like universally across the board, if you're doing any short form content or even a YouTube video, I guess you have to have a quick hook, but maybe the timeline's a little different. He's like 1 to 3 seconds, you need to get someone's attention so that way they watch further than that.
For sure.
I still have not figured out what the heck like a good hook uniform would be. Yeah. Maybe I just haven't found my thing yet. But Noel's always pushing it, and he does really well with that. But I'm just like, man, like how do you come up with a hook? Like how do you do that?
Yeah, there's a lot of different formulas as far as like emotional hooks and like different types of hooks. But I mean, it's super important just because like that's the only thing that would really get people attention. You don't want to be super niche specific. Like there's 3 stages of a reel that really performs well. You want to be really broad to bring people in, because it's going to be random people watching your videos.
Okay.
And then you slowly, start to dial in. But then that 3rd stage is where you go really niche heavy.
Okay.
And for most people who already watch your content, they're probably going to watch all the way through.
Yeah.
But the whole purpose is to get new people in and getting them to that last stage of your video. And it's a little bit of a hard thing to do, but there's formulas for it for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Especially like you mentioned algorithms too. Like that's a huge part of it. Like when to post and all of those navigating that. So it's definitely like the social media realm is definitely different, and it keeps on advancing every single day. And I feel like one day like we're gonna be in our parents' shoes where we're like just totally like. I'm gonna
Sometimes I still feel like, I mean, it's Noel educates me a lot on this. Like even when he came to Flagstaff, like he's so dialed in on a lot of the social stuff because that's what he's gonna like, focus on professionally. Like he might focus on real estate media or all that kind of stuff, but it still blends into like all the knowledge that you have on just like short form content, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, he's like dishing out all these terms. He's like telling me all these up-to-date terms, and I'm like, I didn't know this is gonna be embarrassing to me. I'm gonna age myself. There's a reason why our team tomorrow is called Unk Squad. But like, he's telling me about things like aura farming, and I'm like, what the heck does that mean at first? And then like he's like kind of keeping me up to date on the lingo and just like all these algorithms and stuff. And when he knows that I can kind of be reckless with posting and whatnot, like if I see something, I'm like, oh, it's a cool photo, like post, and he's like, hold up, like you could have done this a little bit better, and I'm like, okay. Like, but it's cool for sure.
Yeah, there's so much slang out there, and it's like, what is going on?
Yeah, I know. It is kind of funny.
Do you guys have a favorite coffee shop you like going to in Flagstaff?
Oh my gosh. Well, the one we frequent the most is probably Single Speed, you would say?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Single Speed is so good. Like, just shout out to them. The owners are really, really cool, and they're very present. They just opened up a new location that was right next door to the old one, but now they have like an actual cafe that you can sit in. And their coffee quality is really, really good, and I love getting their breakfast burritos there. They have some vegan options for Noel.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, Noel, with like your dietary restrictions, like where have you found places that are really like complementing that?
There's like a few go-tos that have some solid vegan stuff, Single Speed being one of them. A lot of my go-tos that were in Denver aren't exactly in Flagstaff, just because it's a smaller town. But no, there's some good stuff out there for sure.
Sweet. And so after this trip, you're going to go and visit some of your family. Where are you going on after Tuesday? Is that correct when you get out?
Yeah. I'm just going to go back to Flagstaff and continue, doing the real estate thing. If these lofty goals that I have, like I know they're going to require a lot of work, so we're actually setting up a huge team event for our real estate team and client appreciation, or just people in the neighborhood that we live in. So I got to get things together for my portion of that, and Noel's actually going to be doing some filming there, which I think is really cool. But so I'm just going to be going back and resuming the routine.
Nice. And then visiting family in Rocky Ford?
Yeah, just for a couple of days, because I'm also going back for the same thing, which is a few days afterwards. And so just say hi to the family, not too much, and then I'll drive back.
He's like, hi, bye. Maybe pick up a couple things since you were only planning like 2 months there, but like, you're like, okay, if I'm committing to another 6, I should probably pack a few more.
I need to get some winter stuff, I don't have none of that for the snow.
Does it get cold over there?
It does, yeah. Okay. Well, in the time that he's there, he's probably going to experience a full winter. In December, it's really not bad. Like all through the training block that we're going to have, like all the way through CIM. Well, for me, I know Noel's going to be part of it, but I don't think he's actually going to like race that. But it's pretty tame. I think the winter, like the harsh winter, normally comes in like February. There's some bleeding into March. It'll get pretty cold. You'll probably get a lot of snow, but it doesn't stick around for too long. Because the sun up there is just like, as soon as the sun hits something, it's like, it's really, really warm. But then, like, as soon as the sun goes down, it's, like, super cold. And there's no humidity up there or anything like that. So, the winters there can get pretty cold.
Yeah. Okay, well, one of my last questions to kind of leave even the people that are watching with is you guys are, like I mentioned at the beginning, like you guys are in a different part of your life right now than you were even a year ago. You guys have grown in all of these aspects of life, just pouring into yourselves and really trying to get you to be the person that you want to be, that you see yourself being. Is there any mantras or any sayings or phrases that you guys just maybe might remind yourself daily, or just kind of tell yourself to keep on getting through all of these challenges that life may be throwing at you now at a different age?
Do you have any phrases?
No phrases.
No phrases.
Yeah, I don't think I have any phrases either. I mean,
Yeah.
they change on a daily, weekly basis. I'm always reading books, and there's always something that sticks out to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have any like go-to phrases or anything that I think of that motivate me. But you know, there's a culmination of principles that I've followed, and you know, it's pretty good.
What book are you reading right now?
Oh my gosh. So I'm reading Start With Why now by Simon Sinek, and that one's really, really good. It was actually recommended by one of my professors here for one of the leadership classes that I'm taking as part of my MBA. I find that one to be really, really good. And Start With Why is like it's opening my eyes a lot, like leading me to realize that I need to find out one of my 3 pillars that is often neglected in business. Like everybody's like, you know, there are 3 things, and it's going to be what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. But a lot of people buy into the why, and that's what's going to like breed loyalty amongst the people that you work with, because they want to be invested in you and your mission and your goals. And that's same with like any organization. But like a lot of people put so much emphasis on what they do and how they do it. Whereas, like, you know, it's not really, like, that stuff's important for sure, but I think the why is often overlooked, and that kind of opened my eyes to that a little bit more.
Yeah, that's huge. I think that's even something, like, Coach Amanda was emphasizing is, like, going back to your why when you feel like you're maybe even doubting or questioning yourself, like, what is your why? Why are you out there every single morning? And I think, for me, it has taken, honestly, like, 4 years to really figure it out, and like I think going into my senior year, it's just like to see myself become like better every single day. And I think running has given that like opportunity for me, and I think you guys even know it yourselves. Like I think we wouldn't have let it go if it wasn't something that it shows this progress every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what you think your why is?
Yeah. I think just
cool.
to continue to better myself every single day.
Yeah.
1% better every single day, right?
That is awesome. Yeah, that's good.
Cool. Sweet. Well, I'm so glad that we got to do this, guys. Thank you so much for your time. I know just getting here and everything like that, it's 11 hours is very long, so thank you guys so much. I just love chatting with you guys and just seeing you guys happy. And you guys are going to go and kill tomorrow and run super fast on our grass course at home at Washington Park. Going to be a big turnout. So I can't wait for you guys to go and do your race.
It's going to be super fun. Super cool to be here, Tanis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Get back home safe to Flagstaff, and we'll see you guys next time you're here in the studio, okay?
For sure.
Cool.
Thank you.